Well, my name is Barbara Britcher. That's my single name. I say Barbara Britcher George because my mother's single name was Ethel Britcher. My dad's name is Norman George. That's the reason why I say Barbara Britcher George. My married name is Lenoy. I got married on Palm Island. But I'm here to tell you about Woorabinda. I was born in Woorabinda on the 14th of January 1952.
My name is Tim Kemp. I'm from Mackay now, but I grew up here in Woorabinda since 1926.
My name's Margaret Riley. I was born Elaine Margaret Riley, originally from Bidgerdii.
My name is Bidgerdii Pool. I was a Miss Dinger living here. My family was Bidgerdii and Big Jubilee. I was born on this settlement, and I lived here with my parents until my mother died and my father died. I had to go live in the dormitory, and I stayed there until I was adopted out and taken to Thursday Island.
1961, I was born in the time of the Act, where there was the superintendent of the community, and because it was the system-like, we were taken from our mother and our father.
My sister and my brothers came to the mission in 54, and because I was in the Rocky-based hospital, I came after.
Being just children, young children, they took us, put us in the dormitory, so we went there among strangers.
And we were placed in the Woorabinda dormitory because loss of our mother.
And you can imagine what I'm telling you, that we were children, so the girls, we had to get down on the floor, scrub the floors on our knees. We didn't have mop at those times, mops with handles. We had old cloths that we used to use to wipe the floors and that. So we had work.
The dormitory was happy and sad at the same time because we had no contact with real family members.
So when we marched down to the school in a line, boys in one line, girls in one line, our dad used to be on the side of the road and come, and he might bring a packet of biscuit for us. So that was the only time that we were able to make any contact with Dad. If Mum was there with him, that's the only contact we can make. If they wanted to, they'd come up to ask permission to see their children up at the dormitory.
You had to ask for permission to go and say good day or say hooray to your sister or your brother. Not so much your brother, but your sister. They were put in dormitories. You had to ask for permission to go and say goodbye to your sister.
Our fellow dormitory mates, we comforted each other, and that sort of kept our spirits up and kept us going.
We all became each other's families. We all loved each other, and what love we couldn't get from our mothers and fathers or our auntie and uncles, we got from each other. We fought together, we laughed together, we did silly kid things. Some part of living in the dormitory was okay. It depends on who the matron was at the time, and other times it was just you wondered why people could be so mean to little children.
But fancy getting permission to see your own children.
A lot of good times, a lot of sad times. Mainly brought up on discipline and punishment.
I did have happy times here, as well as sad.
We'd get up 6 o'clock in the mornings and to do these work. Do this and then get ready then for school and that. It was the system of that time, in that era, that we had to abide by rules that were in the communities. There were bells that were rung in the morning for the men to go to work. We can hear that. Bells at night. There was about 2 bells or something at night where you had to stay in your yard and everything like that.
They just lined them up at the people. As graziers walked in, just like he was inspecting horses or cattle. Said, I'll have this girl here, I'll have that girl there, and so on. And the same with the boys. When the boys were 13 or 14, they lined them up, and the graziers walked along the line and said, I'll have this one, I'll have that one. 7 6 a week, or 5 bob a week, or something like that. I worked for 7 6 a week for quite some time. Then I worked for the Woorabinda itself for 15 bob a month. What's that, about 3 and 3pence a week.
Never ever really dealt with it because they just tell you, you know, your brother died, you know. We just had to cope, get on with everything. No one to comfort you.
I guess that's part of life that happens, and you either learn to live with it or go down the gurgler.
We got into trouble here for little things, you know. If we didn't do our work, we had a pillow fight or arguing amongst ourselves, you know. We got locked in a little jail outside of the dormitory.
They'd cut their hair off, bally, put them in a bag dress, bag with a couple of holes cut in the corner, and put it on, and they'd get them working out in the sun with no hat on. They did to the girls.
I do remember hiding up the tree one day because we weren't allowed to climb the tree, you know. I didn't hide, I climbed up there to have a feed of the honeysuckle flowers. And then along comes the boss, you know, the fellow who was in charge of us. We used to call him Black Hawk. And I shit myself more or less. I stayed real quiet in that tree. He come along, he pulled up right under that tree, took that hat off, wiped that sweat. If he'd have just went a little further back, he would have spotted me up that tree and I would have gotten into trouble again.
And some girls cleared out from the dormitory. And this black track, I reckon they came this way toward where I was staying. And they come rattling on the door and almost knocking the door down, you know. With I don't know what he was what he had, whether he had another or what, but he almost knocked the door down. So I picked the gun up and put a bullet in it and walked to the door and opened the door, and he was this black tracker standing there, and I poked the gun in his belly. I said, what do you want? You want something or you want this? And he nearly shit himself. No, we're looking for girls. I said, well, there's no girls here. I said, so you go on your way. So they went to go on the way. I said, oh, I better come back and look. They came back and searched around. I said, see for yourself, there's no girls here. I said, if there was here, I said, I wouldn't keep them in my house. I said, I got caves up in the range here. I'd take them and put them in these caves for a week or two, you know.
So we had to learn the rules of the dormitory, what we had to do.
And then at the age of 10, me and my sister got taken from here and put into a home outside of Rockhampton, St. Joseph's, Nearcom. It was a Catholic home. Yes, similar to Woorabinda dormitory. We were placed in a dormitory there. The discipline, the punishment, but this was more religious too. The religion side came into play.
But a lot of them never survived. They just fretted for home and country, and this place was not home to a lot of them.
And I blocked a lot of things. I kept a lot of things inside of me, I could never show loving to my children because of how I was brought up. Yes. And I learned to change change with the times because of my grandchildren, Yeah. And I tend to show them a bit more loving.
What you doing?
Yeah, learn to do that. Yes.
Well, if I could have changed it, I would have. But there's nothing I could do, so I had to just go along with what they did.
But it taught us, I feel now, to be better persons in life, because this is my home. And I felt I just wanted to come back because I knew this would be the last time I would meet a lot of people my age.
This healing camp that we're having out here, it's a blessing to me because it's a healing for me because I've had this bottled up a long time, and that I could share with friends about it, but this is to share with a lot of people about it that don't know.
And all the things that people think were just in my head and a make-up story is not so.
I was real happy when they mentioned there was a healing camp for the dormitory kids, and I made that special effort to get back here because I'm suffering with a bit of anxiety and panic attacks. But I'm glad I came. Yes.
But this one is a really emotional one because I'm actually talking to people who knew me as a child, and we went through the same experiences, and that's a good thing because we all remember the good times and the bad times. Then I went to Toowoomba and Adelaide, and I never came back. And some of these people I haven't seen since I was 19 and since I was 7 or 8.
Hopefully I'll go away a bit more healed than what I have been. Let some of my problems out, and by talking about things. Yes.
But in your time today, we are living with this today, and I pray that you can see these things that they are doing damage. We had another kind of damage that was done to us at that time. You've got a different kind of damage that is happening to you. This is a bondage that you've got today. And that's what I'd like to share with you today. God bless you all for that.
What's that? He said, well, he's in here, let him have it done. So you break one. Hey, you wet dog. Hey, you know that deal. Hello. I'm very well.
So this has got fond memories for me, this place.
Come on now. Oh, you're famous.
I never seen
My father. And my mom named you guys.
Nanny, how are you? Been laughing. No. Yes, you do. Don't lie. Hit him with that hand bag. Crack you with it. Yeah, my brother.
This one.
I met a lot of people in my time, seen a lot of country in my time. They nearly all over Queensland.
Welcome to the 2013 Woorabinda Healing Camp Dormitory Reunion. This is a very special occasion, as it's the first time that Woorabinda has had the opportunity to hold a beautiful healing camp this weekend for all the elders that were in the boys' dormitories, but also in the girls' dormitories in Woorabinda. Myself and the support team from Link Up Queensland and the Woorabinda Australian Red Cross are very honoured and privileged to have you here today. And we will share your journey with you at your own pace. So, welcome.
I asked you to do a welcoming language to you in the language of my mother's people, the Gungaloo. So, on behalf of Uncle Tim and the Gungaloo people, I say Naraguba Woorabinda, Woorabinda, Takarabini Nanabindi, Gungaloo Wadja, which means welcome to Woorabinda, God's good land, home of the Gungaloo and Wadja people.
Anyways, welcome to country on behalf of our ancestors and those that couldn't be with us here today. Thank you.
On behalf of the Woorabinda Aboriginal Shire Council, I'd like to welcome everybody here, and also I'd like to say on behalf of the historical people, they helped build this place up too. This is our home also. And I'd like to thank you yourselves for taking the time to come out and to remember, our loved ones are gone, but we've also got to remember who we've got with us today.
This song was sung in Woorabinda way back in the 30s. And some of the other people here might remember it. It goes something like this. Engine never na kubinyamba be chin chila go tell you what engine never na kubinyamba be. Engine never na kubinyamba be chin chila go tell you what Amen gonna bangana buri guma be ngala yulan yo buri gambal go. Amen gonna bangana buri guma be ngala yulan go.
Gorandi Wandala, Wada Wandano, Gamanda Wandala, Gavarangoju. So these two old gentlemen were there, and Brisbane, the main street of Brisbane was just packed out with people, and Woorabinda's float was there. And anyway, apparently old Bundy Johnson was having a bit of trouble convincing Jeffrey to go along with this mock battle. And Jeffrey was reluctant to do this. Anyway, it developed into a bit of an argument, apparently, and it got really serious. So anyway, they ended up having this fight in the street, but it was a fair dinkum fight. And the Murrays are walking up the street having this battle, and the float was coming behind them, and Uncle Tim was I think he was about 16 at the time, sitting on the back of the float. So these two old gentlemen put on this big fight, and the whole crowd apparently just erupted and was carrying all crazy. Wonderful thing. I feel honoured to be standing beside this old gentleman here today, who's pretty much provided most of my education around my culture.
know, as part of the family, and we spent our time up in Julie's yard up here, and we slept up there, and you know, had the lemons, the lemons and those bush lemons. Bush lemons, yeah, but I'm just saying that the connection is mainly, just seems to come on from the time. Sometimes I feel a little like it's an Aboriginal type of dreaming that you get linked up with your countrymen, so to speak, aren't you?
Yeah, I didn't come with Gladys and Ronnie to the mission. I was in the Rocky Base Hospital. Burn victim, I am. And on sometimes when I could hardly walk, you know, my sister used to piggyback me because no one had helped, you know. None of our people in charge of us helped out. My sister used to piggyback me when I used to be having those aches and pains. We got into a lot of trouble because that's all we did. Anything was trouble and punishment. Getting locked up in that little cell at the back. On one occasion there, I mentioned that Mrs. So-and-so, I can't remember the name, was having a baby. So with that, somebody told on me. I got marched down to the big lockup. The big lockup, but I was only a little girl sitting in that dark cell. But we had a lot of good times too, and we made our own fun, you know. Yeah. And like I said, I've come back after 50 years to do this healing, just for my own peace of mind. And like we were talking last night there, Bonnie, about how I was brought up, how we were brought up. I brought my kids up that way, strict, and couldn't show that loving. Like I said, I like to apologise to everyone I hurt at my time here in their care, or anyone I was cheeky to or laughed at and teased, you know, which I did a lot of.
Margie, you want to make that thing about Beth Romer and Daisy Williams. We were particularly, we used to steal their
condensed milk.
Condensed milk.
To steal old Granny Morty's condensed milk. And run. Well, she used to, she got that knife and chased us one time. Chased us one time with a big butcher knife, and we all run. There was a big pile of dirt, and we all run over that hill, you know, and that knife. But in the coldest day, they have woolen dogs on their feet.
They used to have a good go too.
Who's that? Beth and Daisy.
No, Daisy and Granny. Morty to Bain. Yeah, well, I forgive those people for what they did to me in my time, you know, when they were in charge of me. I forgive them. And I hope I can take something out of it today, and thank you very much for this healing camp, you know. Yes. Because I still am dealing with issues, so yes. Yeah, walk around no shoe.
There's frost on the ground.
The feet, you know, what they fed us. Sometimes the porridge used to have weevil.
Yeah, weevil. And there was still porridge, weevil in the porridge at the home, so it never changed. Weevil, picking the weevil.
That's why I ended up the fattest.
I don't know where it is. You were locked up.
Big chain. Big chain.
Yeah, and wire.
So the boys couldn't get in.
Some of them boys used to sneak around.
Oh, it's coming out.
Not for me. It was for the older ones that was there.
It was your birthday yesterday, old Gina.
Them black trackers. Them black trackers, eh?
Yes.
But that the footprints that they used to leave, old Jeffrey used to try and fit the footprints.
Didn't they bring those fellows up there and get them to
footprinted them into the dirt when they were hanging around with them girls?
So there was a sense of, because there's a lot of sisters here.
Yeah, definitely.
There was a sense of, I'm just getting the sense that through the yarns I've been hearing, is that there was, that you all had taken care of each other.
Yeah, we more or less had to,
Because you had to,
support each other, you know. Cry if we ever got flogged, or, you know, was we ever in trouble, you know. Well, they cried for us when we went away, you know. Yeah, they all cried for us when we went. We had been put into.
So no one talk with you about what to expect outside the dormitory?
No.
In the real world?
No.
It was a no-no.
That was a no-no.
They didn't tell us things while we were there in the dormitory about anything that was going on there.
That's why.
You didn't have an opinion.
Yeah.
Because I think the older ones, they probably was treated the same way. You know, we wasn't nice. There was no comfort. And one thing I know from my experience that coming out of being a child there, that I don't remember what my mother looked like. I blocked my mother's image right out because of probably the crying I did, you know, where are you, Mum? And my mother, I knew then that she was never going to come back. So I got no memory of my mother anymore, but I got a lot of memory of my father, you know. So Nanny tell me things, you know.
The situation for us was that Mum was in the Cherbourg hospital and we were living with Dad, and we had our Granny Florrie looking after us. And then they decided that because Dad was working, they said that he couldn't manage to look after us, even though we had a relative looking after us. And so they took us away from him and put us in the dormitory. And we were terrified little kids, and Margaret, when we got there, we were all scared kids. And but because we were all there and it was a common thing for us all, that's how we all forged a bond with each other.
Yes.
Because basically we were all treated the same. No one was
no one was favourites.
No one, no favourites. No.
And they just they treated us all pretty much the same, which was bad. So they treated us the same, which was very bad treatment.
Yes, we had to
punishments for minor things, and it didn't matter who did something wrong. Everybody got punished for it. There were a few little punch up there. Gladys had a number up there with that. And she even punched the matron.
In charge of
And Margie and I were the best mates, and of course we used to get up to a lot of mischief, but she was the one who used to get locked up. I didn't.
I was the one locked up all the time. That's like I always used. Patsy Gary used to want to fight me all the time, and then she knew me all right, but then I'd still get the reprimand.
You know, we've got to go to the pictures on Friday, on the Saturday night, the dance on the Friday night, and the church on the Sunday, and meet with family members at the showground on Sunday afternoons. But one day we all went to church, and Alma, where's Alma? Alma Duncan, she's here. She cooked dinner with A.B. Roberts, and that we were having corned meat. So, but they decided that the meat was off. So we had these two big bins, slop bins, and I mean when I say slops, I mean slops. So they threw the meat in there, and Gladys's little friend, Matron Con, came over and said, "You get that meat out and cook it." So we were eating meat that probably had maggots. Maggots.
Had to eat it.
Yeah,
had to eat it. So
we had to eat it. Wow. Yeah. Yep. And the thing with them was that we had to eat what was put in front of us. Otherwise we got punished for it. Every morning without fail we had to scrub the floors, scrub the walls, we had to make our beds, and we had to tuck it in hospital style.
Yes, hospital
If you didn't do that, you got a flogging for it.
And so scrub the floors with your hands?
On our hands and knees.
Scrubbing brush and pot.
And hands and knees?
Yep.
Big verandas like that.
Big verandas.
That was every morning?
Every morning.
And we were only young little, and some of us would hide a bucket, scrubbing brush, soap and rag, and put it away so we can be first in there to scrub it so we can have some breakfast.
We had
big crack feet and
and cracks, they really hurt when when it's really hard and you split.
The cracks was from us putting our food in the bucket or water to keep warm.
Yeah.
The cracks come from. There's no animosity there towards anybody. We learn to deal with it. But because we always had each other right throughout. And like as we supported each other as children, we're still doing it today. We're there for all our friends as well, you know. And
one thing that we've all learned is that the bond we still share today, and we didn't just have bad times, we had good times too. And it's the good times that's got to shine through. You can't keep worrying about the bad.
We know how to show love. I love my children.
Yes, I love my kids too.
All that love and that love is my grandchildren now.
Layers too. That was when Billy Thorno's father came into play, you know, when he came to the mission. Got us in that. How to we used to stitch all the things together and the layers and just twirl it around and do those skirts and dye them all the different colours.
The skirts were used
from Hessian for hula.
For hula, ah.
Just you leave a band
dancing.
and you just
Hula skirts. And the layers that we used to have to wear. And you could even make a little thing to put in your hair out of that paper too, that crepe paper, you know.
We used to get out on the big veranda and do all the, you know, one get all in a line and thing until they came over and said, you've got to cut it out and get to bed. You know, they like to interrupt our fun time, you know.
It was always cold.
You know, you learn from your playing drafts on the front there. She had ulcers on her legs, all bandages, you know, all leg ulcers in her leg. And then, I don't know, I thought I saw a ghost. And I'm going, and that old girl, you know, she's trying to get up, but she's scared, she couldn't, and she went down the stairs,
because she
and then everybody running, we used to all sort of just crowd together in the dormitory, you know, frightened the ghosts, frightened of everything. Oh, I got the biggest side, I got that many hidings in there.
But we all got to fight that night. Glad he held that ghost, we all got to fight.
But one thing is, she ran away when she was a kid in there. My mum was with her and a few other family members. They got as far as the Dawson River and got them. They caught them and brought them back.
So they walked. Did you walk out?
They walked.
No, they ordered to come down.
Whereabouts in Dawson did you
Down towards Barilla, Dawson.
We went up on the hill, you know, and you go to the little station there, you know? Yes. Page Creek. We went to Page Creek. It was dark now, and we saw the lights now. Oh, that is light. Human light. What can I do? Human light. We would go back. How come we go back? Now we keep going. We only went far that place.
I only got one. Soon as someone run away.
And then they got their heads shaved and had to wear Hessian bags.
I think I was there in that time. That we was all around the same age. And 3 times I ran away. The 3rd time I got to Brisbane. Me, Julianne, and Peter Rose again. And we said we had no shoe on in the main. We got to lift each other, lift. And we said to this old taxi driver, can you take a peg leg? No, the taxi. He took us straight to the Opal House. And they that old white taxi driver, he was married to an Aboriginal woman, that old lady, you know, like they were the people that adopted Caroline.
Carol.
Yes, they sent us straight to the Opal House and took us back to Woorabinda. Laura was a fierce girl that had a bike in Woorabinda. She's all right and sideways, you know. I remember those people, I can't remember.
And she was down there for a while. Then they sent her to Cherbourg.
But TB?
Yeah, she had TB. And then they sent us to the dormitory, and then they sent us down to Cherbourg, back to Woorabinda and back to the dormitory again. and Mum died down there in the Sherwood Hospital. But because she had TB, we weren't allowed any contact with her. That's one of the things that we're still struggling with. We don't even know where our mother's buried. I went there when I was 10 years old, the day she got buried, and that was it.
They said we straight after we were on station, had to just keep going on for 15.
Yeah, I never ever dealt with anything. I kept it hidden, you know? Yeah. Never spoke about anything.
Insults against it as a, get over it, you know. It's nothing. Not until no.
Who's coming here too now? Horses.
And then you just
used to be able to
you adjust. You have to adjust because that's the way it is. But it makes you, stronger and that. And not in that, and it makes you think to keep your family together, not to let them be, taken away like that.
Yes.
But no matter where I may roam, Woori will always be home. I'll always have family there, and I'll always be welcome there. The trees along the street have grown at least 40 feet. They were small when I was a lad, and planted by my mum and dad. But no matter where I may roam, Woori will always be hard guitar playing, print and do my request. Song I used to hear and make my old memories come alive and take me away and turn back the years, sing me back home before I die.
Glad you come. Glad both of you come. Thank you.
Just put away your worldly ambition and give up and let your heart be free. And you take up your cross and then you follow me. What I want you to be, and I'll make you what I want you to be.
Yeah, well, give me the guitar and I'll play. I'll never take you back again. I found out long ago you're bad all through, you're selfish too. That's something I should know. I gave my heart to you before, found some letters you wrote. Don't cry, boy. Letters you wrote me this morning, and they told of the love we once knew. Well, my throat is sore now.
I don't know the language of English. Don't understand it, my Lord.
Your hand in mine still
Boy, we'll throw this one.
Yeah, I've got it all. This one.
Thank you.
I should have known the worst was yet to come. The cries times for me have just begun. Well, today I'm still loving you again.
Welcome to day 2 of a very special weekend. Yesterday, there were some good yarns there. Good yarns that were full of laughter. Some yarns were a bit sad. There were many things that came out of that group. But the 3 important points of that yarning in that group was the connections that each of the group members had. By blood, by friendship, but the most important thing is by the relationships that each of the group elders had with each other. And we are humbled by that. Many of you, all of you, have come on a journey by car, by train, by bus, and by your feet to come here. But that journey had started a long time ago here in Woorabinda, when each of you were only very young. With healing, it's like a roller coaster. It goes up, it comes down, it levels out, then it goes every which way possible. And I would dare say that each of the aunties and uncles here had been on that roller coaster. And that roller coaster could have been a slow ride, others could have been a rough ride. With the stories that the support team had the honour of hearing yesterday were intense. But those yarns were well needed. That is the reason why you have come here to this very sacred place of Black Boy, back to Woorabinda.
We did hear these stories of removal from parents, and I know one of the aunties spoke about how that was said to be under the guise of protection, but she made it very clear that what the government couldn't provide was the love of the parent. She said that very clearly, and I thank her for saying that. And that love was a very strong theme that came through the stories we spoke about. And we heard a lot of stories of mums and aunties and others trying very hard and going and basically demanding their children back, or going and staying in touch with their children, even though that meant likely punishment or things being worse for themselves. So the love that they had for the children and their efforts to get their children back was a very strong story. And those efforts weren't always rewarded in being able to get their children back, but they kept trying.
Thank you very much to the aunties that had shared their memories about the journey. Thank you. And thank you to all the aunties he listened.
Even though there's no grass, it's still holding a bit of condition, but we need a bit of rain. They're starting to lose a bit of condition.
Yeah, who's that?
Yeah. 1, 2. I'm glad that we can come together as one big happy family here today to show our respect and to know that we are there for them also too. So I got a gospel song here. It's called He Walked the Street to Calvary. He walked the streets to Calvary, the hour of the cross he walked. The crowd stood by and watched this man they heard him preach before. I knew I'd never be worthy, such a love I'll never find. When he was on the cross, I was on his mind.
Now the dormitory girls. You remember some of the old dance you fellas used to do? Now come on. It's there, still on your face, I can see it, buddy. Come on in. Cheryl. Oh Lord, Ronnie, sing with me. Oh Lord, kukupi to run out. Malago. Aitala silo magelo mai anua boi lo mai erewa lo kakeni tirana logo malago aitala silo magelo mai Anua boilo mai erewa.
One proper.
Pearl here. Here, glad he was the pearl. Oh Lord, Mary Logerian, Obekedi Perlican. Oh, better shut up.
Was there a time in your life when you wondered how it all began? But something tells me there's something wrong. This feeling inside still lingers on. But But have you forgotten who you are? Have you forgotten where you're from? Our lives together are still as one. Have you forgotten